Awaken Light Audio. Awaken your mind, ignite your light.
Why do we fall? Lessons hidden in every breakdown. What if every breakdown you've ever faced wasn't meant to destroy you, but to define you? What if falling is not a sign of failure, but a signal that something greater is trying to emerge from within you? And what if the hardest moments of your life are actually sacred, because they strip away who you're not to reveal who you truly are? When you fall, everything feels like it's ending. The floor disappears beneath your feet. The plan shatters. The silence screams. You don't know if you're angry, ashamed, heartbroken, or just numb. You replay what happened. You try to undo the damage in your mind. You question everything, your choices, your timing, your worth. We've all been there at rock bottom, in quiet collapse, holding the pieces of a life that no longer fits. And in that space, a question always arises. Why did this have to happen? What if falling is a form of becoming? Falling feels like failure because it hurts, because it's disorienting, because it challenges the version of us that wanted control, certainty, and success without suffering. But here's the truth. The fall isn't the end. It's the invitation. The invitation to slow down. Listen. Deeper. Let go of what's not working. Rebuild with intention. Reconnect with who you were always meant to be. Every breakdown contains a message, but only those who sit in the wreckage long enough can hear it. You're not broken. You're being reconstructed. This is a journey through the real reasons we fall, not the ones the world tells us, but the ones your soul already knows. You fall to awaken. You fall to reset. You fall to be remade. And when you finally stop running from the pain, you realize it's not the fall that breaks you, it's the resistance to learning from it. So let's walk through it. One fall at a time, one lesson at a time, with clarity, with grace, with strength. Part 1. You fall because you're human. Let's get one thing clear. You didn't fall because you're weak. You didn't fall because you're unworthy. You fell because you're human. Being human means being vulnerable. It means trying, failing, repeating. It means loving things that might leave. It means dreaming without guarantees. It means trusting, even when you've been hurt. So many of us walk around believing something is wrong with us, because we fell, because we stumbled, because we broke down when we thought we should be strong. But what if this isn't proof of weakness, but evidence that you were brave enough to show up? You can't grow without friction. Think about it. You learn to walk by falling. You learn to love by risking your heart. You learned what matters by losing what didn't. You learned who you are by failing at who you're not. Every person you admire has scars. Every strong soul you know has crawled through silence. Every peaceful face has weathered storms you can't see. The difference isn't in who fell, but in who allowed the fall to teach them. Stop apologizing for falling. Have to justify your breakdown. Perform your way back to acceptance. Hide your pain to protect others' comfort. You are not less because you're in the middle of something hard. You're not less because your path is messy. You're not behind. You're in process. And no matter what the world says, falling doesn't disqualify you from rising. Speak to yourself like you would a friend. If someone you love fell apart, you wouldn't say, "What's wrong with you? You should be past this. Why are you still here?" You'd hold them. You'd listen. You'd remind them, this doesn't define you. So speak to yourself with the same grace. I am not broken. I am becoming. I fall not because I'm weak, but because I am growing beyond who I used to be. I forgive myself for stumbling. I honor the courage it takes to keep standing. Part 2. You fall to build resilience, not to be punished. Let's be honest. Falling hurts. It leaves bruises on your confidence. It tests your patience. It can make you question everything you believed about life, about others, about yourself, and in that dark space, it's easy to think, this must be happening because I did something wrong. Maybe I'm being punished. Maybe I'm just not good enough. But what if you're not being punished? You're being prepared. Pressure doesn't break diamonds, it forms them. Think about every strong person you admire, the athlete who came back after injury, the artist who was rejected 100 times before they broke through, the parent who held it together through impossible seasons, the survivor who turned their pain to purpose. None of them got stronger in comfort. They built strength in the breaking. They didn't become who they are in spite of the fall. They became. That because of it, your resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something forged one fall. One rise, one breath at a time. Resilience is remembering. You can rise. Resilience isn't being unaffected, it's being undefeated. Even when affected, it's choosing to keep going. Even when you don't know the outcome, it's refusing to let the fall write your final chapter. It's saying, I may not have chosen this, but I choose who I become because of it. That choice in the middle of pain is what separates victims from victors. The fall doesn't make you fragile, it makes you fierce. The most grounded? Hell, and they learned how to walk through it. They've been tested, and because of that, they've been transformed. They don't avoid life's sharp edges. They've simply learned how to hold them with grace. Reflect on your past. Rise as dot. Think of the last time you thought you wouldn't make it. You did. You're here. You've already survived things you once thought would break you. Let that be your evidence. If you could rise then, you can rise again. Tell yourself, I am not being punished, I am being prepared. Every fall stretches my spirit, sharpens my strength, and teaches me how to rise higher. My pain is not my prison, it is my proving ground. Part 3. You fall to realign. Not just to recover, we often think of falling as something to bounce back from dot, as if the goal is to get back to where we were, to recover, to resume, to return. But here's the truth no one talks about. Sometimes the fall happens not so you can go back, but so you can go forward in a new direction. Not everything that breaks is meant to be restored. Not every plan that falls apart is meant to be rebuilt. Sometimes falling is the universe's way of saying, this isn't the path anymore. Breakdown is often a redirection. How many times have you fought to keep something alive that was already draining you, to fit into a life that no longer felt like yours? Held on out of fear, even when your soul whispered, it's time to let go. Then boom, the relationship ends. The job falls through, the opportunity vanishes, and you're left wondering, why now? Why this? But months or years later, you look back and whisper, thank God that door closed. Because if it didn't, you would have never found the one that actually led home. Realignment doesn't always feel peaceful. It's messy, it's confusing, it often feels like failure, because you can't see what's next yet. But trust this, realignment usually looks like chaos. Before it looks like clarity, you lose the thing. Then you lose the identity attached to the thing. Then slowly, you start meeting the version of you that was buried beneath it all. That's the gift inside. The fall, you get to reclaim your direction. I have a practice, reframe the fall. Instead of asking, how do I get back to who I was? Try asking, what is this trying to free me from? What part of me no longer fits this path? What would alignment look like now, even if it's different? When you fall, don't rush to rebuild. Pause, breathe, reevaluate. What if the fall is protecting you from what no longer serves you? Remember, I no longer rush to recover. I listen, I release, I realign. I trust that if something breaks, it's making room for something better. My fall is not a failure, it's a redirection. Part 4. You fall to discover the strength you forgot. You had, some lessons can only be learned in the dark. Some parts of you only come alive when everything else falls apart. Some strengths don't show up when life is smooth. They awaken when you're flat on the floor, questioning everything. That's the strange gift of falling. It introduces you to the version of you that doesn't quit, even when quitting feels like the only option. Adversity doesn't build strength, it reveals it. You already have strength inside you. You just forgot. Or maybe you never needed to access it. Until now, and then life pressed in, everything collapsed, and you discovered. You could survive what you thought would destroy you. You could speak up even with a trembling voice. You could keep walking with a broken heart. You could stay standing while the storm kept screaming. You didn't become strong in that moment. You simply remembered who you were. Inner strength is built in private. No one saw the moment you got out of bed on your hardest day. No one saw the tears you wiped away before showing up to work. No one saw the effort it took just to keep breathing, but you saw it, you lived it, and now, even if nothing outside has changed, something inside has. You know you're stronger than you thought, and no one can take that knowing away from you. You were never weak. You were waiting to be tested. We often confuse softness with weakness, but in reality, it takes strength to feel. It takes courage to stay kind in chaos. It takes power to stay open after heartbreak. It takes fire to keep believing after loss. You've been training in silence, and the fall simply revealed what's been growing underground. This whole time, trace your strength backward. Ask yourself, what have I made it through that I once thought I wouldn't? Who did I become because of that? What parts of me only showed up after I fell? Then remind yourself that strength didn't die. It's still with you. It's you. I no longer doubt my strength. I've met it in the fire. I've carried it through storms. My fall didn't break me. It introduced me to my power. Fall so you can rise with compassion. When you've never fallen, it's easy to judge. Easy to say, I would never do that. They should have known better. I don't understand why they're struggling. But once you've hit rock bottom, once you've cried without answers, once you've doubted yourself while still trying to move forward, something in you softens. You stop judging and start understanding. You stop preaching and start listening. You stop pointing fingers and start holding space. Pain strips you of arrogance and fills you with grace. Before your fall, you may have believed strength was loud, that winning meant never showing weakness, that growth was linear and pain was a sign of failure. But now, you understand that silence can be sacred, that someone smiling might still be grieving, that people break, not because they're weak, but because they've carried too much. Too long, and with that shift, you don't just rise, you rise with compassion. Fall becomes someone else's lifeline. When you choose to heal honestly and openly, your journey becomes a mirror for others. You show them, it's okay to not have it all together. It's possible to rise slowly. Strength doesn't mean never falling. It means not hiding after you do. You become the voice someone else needed when they were silent. You become the proof someone else needs that healing is possible. Your pain becomes purpose. Your fall becomes medicine, not just for you, but for the world. Shared struggle builds real connection. The strongest bonds are formed not through perfection, but through shared humanity. People don't trust you because you've never fallen. They trust you because you've fallen and got back up without pretending it was easy. That vulnerability, that truth, it's your power, it's your bridge, it's your gift. Transmute your pain into presence. Ask yourself, what did I need most when I was in the dark? Who can I now hold space for because I've been there? How can I use what broke me to help build someone else? Let your scars speak not as wounds, but as wisdom. I rise not just for myself, but with open hands for others. I use my story to soften the world. I've met pain, and now I meet people with compassion. Part 6. You fall so you can become who you were meant to be. Falling doesn't just strip away comfort, it strips away illusion. It removes the masks. It burns down what was never stable. It pulls the false scaffolding out from under you until all that's left is the truth. And in that raw, painful, unfiltered space, you meet the real you. Not the you shaped by fear, not the you molded by others. Expectations, not the you who performed to survive. The you that was buried underneath it all. The you that's powerful, quiet, steady, real. You're not starting over, you're starting true. It may feel like you lost everything, but maybe you just lost what was never fully aligned. Falling gives you the chance to rebuild, not the same life, but a truer one, a life. Not built on needing to be liked, not built on proving your worth, not built on fitting in or being enough, but built on truth, on courage, on authenticity. And that version of you doesn't rise quickly, but when they rise, they're unshakable. Your fall was not the end, it was the beginning. Every fall clears the space for what's real. It humbles your ego. It awakens your soul. It rewires your mind. It refines your vision. You fall not to be punished, but to be positioned for alignment, for integrity, for purpose. Ask yourself, what is this fall teaching me about who I'm not? What version of me is trying to emerge from this pain? How can I walk forward with more truth, even if it's slow? Let the fall shape you not with shame, but with self-respect. Remember that. I am not who I was before I fell, and that is the gift. My fall revealed what matters, what's real, and what I'm made of. I rise now, not perfect, but honest, not flawless, but fully me. Final message. Why do we fall? We fall to wake up, to break cycles, to build resilience, to realign our lives, to unlock hidden strength, to grow softer, wiser, and more compassionate, to return home to who we were always meant to be. Your fall is not your failure, it's your formation, your fire dot, your rebirth dot. So don't hide from it, don't hate it, don't rush through it, sit in it, listen to it, let it shape you, because when you rise, you'll carry something no one can teach. Buy or borrow the quiet power of someone who has fallen and risen anyway.
Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions. Send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.